Shane from the CERN and Earth and Space Center here. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the furthest planet from the Sun in our solar system, the eighth planet, Neptune. It's a very interesting planet, very similar to Uranus, the ice giants way out on the far reaches of our solar system. So let's just jump in and take a look at how you can find it in the sky, even though it is pretty difficult, and then we'll fly out and take a closer look at it using our planetarium software. So let's jump right in. So here we are once again, standing in front of the CERN and Earth and Space Center at Triton College in River Grove, Illinois. We have our date set for January 15th. We have our time set for 7 o'clock at night. So it's a couple hours after sunset. It'll be nice and dark. You'll be able to see a lot of the stuff out there, but you won't be able to see what we're looking for, at least not without a pretty powerful telescope. Now we're looking for the planet Neptune, and it's one of the ice giants very far away from the sun, way out in the outer reaches of our solar system. Now we know that all of the planets sit along the ecliptic line, the same path that the sun takes through the sky. We can see the planet Mars high up here in the sky. Now Mars is going to be nice and bright and easy to see, and the planet Neptune is going to be along that line as well, but it's going to be a little bit closer towards the western part of the sky. I'm going to turn on our planet labels so we can see where the planets are, and here we see the label for the planet Mars, but we don't see a label for the planet Neptune, and that's because it is so far away and so faint that the program doesn't think that you're looking for that. So we're going to take another step. We will turn off our atmosphere to get rid of all of the light pollution around us, and now we can see tons of stars. We see up here next to Mars that the planet label for the planet Uranus has popped up, but we still can't see the planet Neptune, and that's because it is so far away. So in order to find it, we're going to have to zoom in a little bit more, and it will just pop up right here, kind of close to the horizon line, just towards the southwest, right in between west and southwest part of the sky. Now, it's going to be very, very hard to spot. You need to know almost exactly what you're looking for in the sky. And even when you do find it, if you look at it through a telescope, it's not really going to be that impressive unless you have a fantastic telescope. We can use our telescope simulation here to zoom in on that planet Neptune, and we'll see that it just looks like a bright star in that star field. There's not much to see there. So even if you have a nice telescope, it's still not going to be those fantastic views that you would get with another planet like Jupiter or Saturn. You're not going to see too much detail looking at the planet Neptune, but you can find it in the sky if you know exactly where to look and what you've found. But we don't need to worry about finding it with just our eyes and looking at it through a telescope, because we can fly out to it and take a closer look at it for ourselves. So let's load up our planetarium software, Digistar 6, and take a flight out to visit Neptune. So let's begin our flight away from the planet Earth and heading out towards the far reaches of our solar system, towards the planet Neptune. Now, Neptune is the farthest planet away from our sun. It is the eighth planet in our solar system. There are a lot more objects out past the orbit of Neptune, though. We call those trans-Neptunian objects, things like dwarf planets in the Kuiper Belt, such as Pluto and Eris, and we also have comets out in the Oort cloud. But we'll talk about those in another video. For now, we're going to fly out towards Neptune and take a closer look at it. Now, Neptune is an ice giant, much like its neighbor, the planet Uranus. Now, an ice giant is much like a gas giant, like Jupiter and Saturn. It has a gassy atmosphere of hydrogen and helium, but its core is sort of a dense fluid of icy materials, such as water and methane and ammonia, and that's what gives it this very nice blue color that we can see here. Now, Neptune has a very interesting orbit. It's about 165 Earth years to go around the sun once. So one Neptunian year is 165 Earth years, and it also is crossing paths with the dwarf planet Pluto, and that's because Pluto has an even more eccentric orbit, so it will sometimes be closer to us and the sun than Neptune will. Now, Neptune also has moons. It has 14 that we know about so far. They're named after sea gods and nymphs from Greek mythology, like Triton and Naiad, things like that, Nereid. And we haven't really learned too much about the planet Neptune. We haven't sent a lot of spacecraft to visit it like we have some of the other planets. There's only been one spacecraft to fly past Pluto, and that is Voyager 2 that flew past Neptune. Voyager 2 flew past Neptune as it was traveling its way out of the solar system, but no spacecraft has orbited around the planet and really taken a good look and studied it. But from Voyager and from telescope observations, we do know that Neptune, like most of the other giant planets, has a ring system. It has some very faint rings and ring arcs. They're mostly clumps of dust and debris, so they're very hard to find, not like the rings of Saturn, which are ice particles which reflect sunlight much better and are easier to see. So this is the planet Neptune, the farthest planet away from our sun that we know about so far. It is the first planet that was discovered using mathematical calculations rather than pure telescope observations. So we had found out that it was there before we had seen it. I think that's very, very interesting. So there's your closer look at the planet Neptune. Well, thank you everyone for taking a closer look at the planet Neptune with me today. Again, my name is Wayne from the CERN and Earth and Space Center here at Triton College. Remember to like and subscribe for more space content. And remember, even though sometimes things can be hard to find, it is still worth it to get out there and take a look at your night skies.